How you folks doing? Any of you guys ever questioned any of the things you see on TV? No? Okay. How you doing? Not a very inquisitive bunch today, so far. Let's see, maybe that'll change in a little bit. You guys ever look into any of these bombings and stuff? No? It's all a lie, guys. It's all a lie. It's interesting stuff. Kind of change your perspective on life if you would take a moment. Most won't. Oh, there's my stick. So hopefully I got a full battery. I think we're good. Let's see if we can get some people to come on over and take a look at the insanity of the world we live. So, I think today's like March 27th or 28th, whatever it is. It's like 70 degrees here. Had a few people talking that I was chatting with when I set up. But other than that, let's see if I can have a conversation with anybody. How you guys doing?
I'm good.
You guys, oh, you know, I actually forgot one of my little...
picture of this message?
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, it's crazy, right? When I heard this stuff 2 years ago, right? And I was like, what kind of idiot, literally I said, what kind of idiot would say that, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard about this at all?
Kind of, yeah, kind of.
It's crazy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Now let me ask you a quick question. 1 second while I got you guys here, because I brought this. I'm going to be doing my own experiment soon, and it involves water, because I like the water is something I can actually, you know, we physically can see right in front of us, right? Guys, imagine if this bottle here was a 2-mile long pipe, right?
Yeah.
And let's say it was like 24 inches in circumference or something like that. Now imagine that pipe was 2 miles long and you filled it halfway up with water, right? Okay, so the whole distance of that pipe, you understand that according to the globe model, that water in that pipe would have a giant hump in the middle of it and would taper off at the edges and go lower. You understand that that's what you believe, right? Now, is that how we know water acts? We know that resting bodies of water, look at this. I wish I had it nice and level, but it always seeks and finds its level, right? But in order for us to live on a ball, there has to be bendy water. Bodies of water have to bend, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of hard to believe. Now imagine, this is 2 miles long, right? Imagine this was 2 miles long. That means that at the ends of this, they would be down, the water would be down here, and in the middle, the water would be up towards the top. That's what you believe right now. You know that, right?
But on the other hand, like, why is it so important whether the earth is flat or not?
Holy shit, are you wait, let's back up a second.
No, I mean,
are you kidding me? Wait, think about the question you just asked me. Wait.
To do all this, like...
Wait a second, but think about it. Think for a second, man.
Like, why
wait
is
a second.
Important? It's just,
think.
Who cares, right?
No, I appreciate the question. I get that a lot. For me, it's astounding. If on the 1 in 1 billionth chance that I'm correct, you would want to continue living in a life of a lie where they told you what happens if we have land on a flat plain And there's more land than we know of, and they've contained us on a ball, right? They contained us because you know on a ball there's a finite amount of space, right? But on a flat plane, I don't know where the land ends, right? I don't know. But besides that, the question is, you know, when you ask me, why does it matter? I don't like being lied to, man. Do you guys like being lied to?
I accept it if it doesn't bother me on a daily basis, kind of.
Okay, does poverty bother you? Kids starving?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Do you know how much NASA pulls in a day? Take a guess, lying to us. $56 million a day NASA rakes in per day. Now you tell me, if they were lying, and let's just say if, could those funds be used to help maybe people who are suffering? Right?
You say they lie about the shape of the earth in order to make money?
No. They're lying about the shape of the earth because it's a form of control for us. Because ultimately, if I grew up, I'm 47 years old right now, right? And I grew up and they taught me in school, they said, you know, there was a big bang, everything came from nothing, and you live on a ball that water sticks to, blah, blah, blah. And I bought it, right? But then people told me, oh, there's God, you know, and there's God created this. And I'm thinking, it kind of seems incompatible to me that, you know, the earth came about spontaneously through this big bang. You kind of don't need a God. So they leave, so you kind of end up abandoning. I mean, there's a lot of people who look into flat earth who are former atheists, and then they go, you know what, I believe in God. I got to the point where I was like born again Christian, but now I kind of reverse track because I'm like not sure about Jesus and I don't want to just blatantly believe things anymore. But listen, all I'm asking is that people, if you take a moment, just, I know it sounds crazy, but just think about how insane this is. Why is YouTube censoring flat earth? Why are they demonetized people who make flat earth videos? If this is such an outlandish, crazy idea, don't you think your average schmuck, right? Don't you think they could figure that out on their own? You need YouTube now to think for you? Is that a little weird?
It's a bit hard to figure out that the earth is flat from here, right?
Well, yeah, I know, but check out this water, you guys. Look at that water, guys. You believe that if that was 2 miles long, remember this is what you currently believe right now, if you believe you live on a ball, that 2 miles extended, in the very middle of this, that water would be probably touching the top, because there's a formula for water curvature, for Earth's curvature, it's 8 inches per mile squared. You could look this stuff up. This is what the ball earthers tell us. So over a distance of 2 miles, it would be 2 times 2 is 4, times 8 inches would be 32 inches of curvature over 2 miles. So, you think about that, 32 inches, this water would need to be bending. Huh.
Okay, I have to keep going.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Okay, so maybe they're on time.
Anybody want to help me sort this out? Seriously, I need a little help. There's a few things I'm not getting. I'm not even joking. No kidding here. You want to discuss? I need help, man. No? Give me 10 minutes to sort this out for me? Have you heard about flat earth? No? I need help. You want to help me?
What do you need help with?
All right, so I am of the opinion that I've come to believe that I no longer live on a spinning ball that water sticks to, right?
All right.
And one of the things I would ask you guys is, if this makes sense. You see my bottle of water there?
All right.
I'm going to be doing my own experiment fairly soon. It's kind of similar to that, but basically imagine that bottle of water was 2 miles long in length, right?
Got it.
And let's make the diameter like 2 feet or 3 feet, right?
All right.
Imagine that's filled up with water just as it is right there. Okay, according to the Ball Earth model, over that distance of 2 miles, there's 8 inches per mile squared of Earth curvature. Okay, that would produce 2 miles times 2 is 4 times 8 inches is 32 inches of water curvature that we would expect. So let's say that was 2 feet diameter, it was filled halfway, 12 inches. We would expect in the middle of that 2 mile long bottle, we would expect it to be bulging, I think, between 8 and 16 inches. I don't know whether it's half or 8, to tell you the truth. But we would expect that, this is what you believe, is that water would be higher in the middle of that 2 mile long bottle of water, and that the ends, it would taper off and be lower.
Higher is relative though.
Excuse me?
But like higher is relative though.
No, higher as in there would be a bulge in the water. There has to be, because remember.
But like it curves. So when you're right here, the water's at its highest point regardless of where you stand on the globe.
Wait a second. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is that if you have that bottle perfectly level as it is, right?
All right.
If that's perfectly level, there would still have to be a curve over that level. It wouldn't be relative, because there would literally have to be a curve according to the curvature of the Earth. Think of it as if the ocean floor was perfectly flat.
Okay.
Would that make all of a sudden that the ocean above it would be perfectly flat above it?
See, I think, so if you had like, so it's in a container, right? So imagine gravity, gravity's like a force acting, like pulling it down, right? That's what you're saying, like, or supposedly.
Well, no, I'm just clarifying what it is that you believe.
Well,
I understand what it is that I'm arguing.
Well, I guess what I would expect to happen is if you had this 2 mile long container, and supposedly gravity is acting as like a force on it, the water in the bottle. I'm not really sure. I'm not a physics major.
It's gonna be perfectly level in the sense
that the force is acting on it will be different.
It's acting on it in the same at every single spot.
No. Honestly, this is what the Ball Earthers are telling me. This is what they tell. You can look it up on YouTube. The Ball Earthers will tell you in that 2 mile long you would have curved water. That there would be a hump of water in the middle of it. And so my point is that we know intuitively, guys, resting bodies of water, they always seeks and finds its level. Come here, look. This is how water acts, right? Okay. That's how water acts. And it's not relative to any curve or to the center of the Earth. It seeks and finds its level. Level is level, guys.
I think the one question I would have is that, assuming you use the 2 mile long example to calculate the curvature. Yeah. I would question though, is the rate of change of curvature as you get longer constant? Because
8 inches per mile squared is I'm not a very good math.
If you're scaling it linearly, I'm not sure either. So
hey, listen, I appreciate you guys entertaining this insanity. When I first heard this stuff, I was like, what kind of idiot would believe this? Now, over here, guys, just to give you an idea of the levels of deception that's taking place, do you see this photo here? This is Jeff Bauman. His legs were blown off in the Boston bombing, right? Wait, no, hold on before you run, because I didn't even look at this photo before I heard about this stuff. I couldn't even, because it was so disgusting, right? So wait a second, do you see these guys? Those guys are having a coffee while they're on break. You know what they're called? They're called crisis actors. What they do is they work, just hold on, because I did the same thing, man. Because what we have is we have an emotional response to this stuff where we turn our brains off and we let our emotions take over. I wouldn't even look at these photos. So anyway, look at this photo. There's something clearly missing besides his legs in this photo. And it is these missing 2 legs that were just blown off supposedly within the last 7 minutes, right? This is within 7 minutes of that happening. There's not one drop of blood. Look on your camera phone. There's a high resolution photo of this. There's not a single freaking drop of blood coming out of his legs. The lady, the woman at San Francisco General Hospital, her name is Dr. Lorraine Day. Guys, I've studied this shit for 2 freaking years. I wouldn't come out here and do this to people if I didn't know this stuff. So check this out. Dr. Lorraine Day, look her up. She's she's retired, head of orthopedic surgery at San Francisco General Hospital. She says, this is absolutely absurd. No paramedic in their right mind would ever put a double amputee that just happened to have his legs blown off in a freaking wheelchair. They'd be laying in a stretcher at worst, right? Come on. Guys, there's a video called there's a website called stoplookthink.com, and you can go into it. YouTube censors this crap. They demonetize people. Here's a card right here. On that card, you can find some more information.
Well, what does this have to do with a flat Earth?
That's my question. Okay, just to give you an idea, like, for me, flat Earth is preposterous. Like, if I come up to people and say, hey man, the Earth is flat, or I think the Earth is flat, it's absolutely complete insanity. I mean, it almost turns your brain off to hear that. This is not much less crazy, but there's a whole bunch of lies that if you start looking into it, they all start adding up. And it's like a preponderance of evidence in a court. You know, you look at these people involved. In this interview, guys, this is the girl, Katie Foley, whose brother, they chopped off his head, supposedly. ISIS did way back. This is her interviewing like the next day, right? She looks upset too, right? So then here she is. Here's another girl named Alex Israel. Okay? They sound exactly the same. They talk the same. She says, the same way, right? In this video, there was a photo in the background. In the middle of the freaking interview, the photo fell off the wall. Like a stage prop. You know how if you put a stage prop hastily together and maybe the shit isn't ready? The freaking photo falls off the wall in the minute of the interview. This guy starts to laugh. By the way, these videos are all taken down by YouTube. What are they afraid of? If it's so stupid of an idea, guys, if it's so stupid, why would they take it down?
I mean, here's what I have. The problem I have with this is that you seem to be saying, like, once you start realizing some of these are true, then it makes sense the rest are true. But like,
bro, I got the Holocaust up here too, man. I mean, yeah, I know.
But like, for example, NASA has, we have mirrors on the moon's surface.
Have you been there?
Well, no, but why NASA?
So you believe that we do?
Yes, because
right.
What reason would they have to?
Well, I'm showing you a whole bunch of reasons that there's deception.
No.
Oh, okay.
So just in a vacuum,
right.
NASA says, ignore anything else. NASA says we have mirrors in the moon. They shoot lasers at it and they typically measure.
Do you guys know that? You know how laser beams? We've done like a lot of flat earthers have done laser tests, right? And over a distance of just 7 miles, the laser loses its ability to keep a nice tight focus. Okay, like literally, you have to buy expensive lasers to even go 7 miles. Do you know how far the moon is from the Earth?
Pretty far.
It's right, about 240,000 miles, right? So they said they've been doing this laser test where they bounce the laser off the mirror and they get to see it again over 40 years ago, right? So 40 years ago technology, they had a laser beam that would keep a tight laser perfectly on a tiny little mirror that could reach the moon and come back. Dude, you don't know this stuff. We believe it. We believe it. And that's, I mean, this stuff is hard. They have no all right, guys.
Why would NASA have a reason?
All right, really, I don't believe that the money is the reason why. But does anybody here know how much NASA brings in a day? How much we spend on NASA per day?
It's about like, isn't it like a little less than 1% of our whole budget?
Well, think of it in dollar. Let's think of it in strictly dollar terms. It's $58 million per day. Now, listen. If NASA is lying, do you think that those funds could be used for a better purpose? Maybe for all these people who are freaking living in poverty, living on the freaking side of the streets in California. Have you guys seen any of these videos? I mean, YouTube censors the shit out of all this crap. You guys have cards right there. I urge you to please. Oh, thank you so much.
What do you think of Eddie Bravo, man?
Eddie Bravo? Man, I'm a lot like him in that. I mean, I don't know. See, Joe Rogan, dude. I don't know what you think about Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan used to believe that the moon landing was fake. He used to believe in all these conspiracies, one after another. Then all of a sudden, one day, he wakes up and he's like, nah, man, no, listen, I fell for it. I was part of a cult, and now I've changed my mind, and you know, this stuff is lunacy if you believe in it. When I 2 years ago, man, I was dead asleep to everything. I would watch. What happened was when Trump got elected, I was like, what is the news talking about, man? This shit is crazy. Like what the news is like. The news is insane if you watch it. I don't know if you do, but I was watching it and I was like, this is absolute absurdity what the news talks about on a daily basis. Still, from what I gather, I don't watch TV anymore. But at a certain point, that made me question things. I turned off the TV, and then I started watching YouTube, and then I got introduced to some of these ideas. And at first I was like, these people are batshit fucking crazy. That's what I thought. And then eventually you start looking and you see the patterns. I have another one that got stolen. I think one of the college kids, they probably stole it for their room, but it's all the celebrities doing their eye symbol, which you might know of. But literally every politician, every pope, every singer, every actor, every actress, Kevin Spacey was doing it. They're all doing this stuff. And then so I started seeing this. I'm like, why would they even do that symbol? Like, what is the purpose of doing that, right? And as I started looking into things, eventually my mind opened up to, Dave, man, maybe you don't fucking know everything that you think you know. Maybe you just don't know it. And then I started, and I always wondered about taxes my whole freaking life. I was like, how am I living in the land of the free, right? when they automatically take 30, when I have a partner that I don't know, I don't even want him, I don't want Uncle Sam as a partner, and he comes in, he takes half my money sometimes, right? And then he fines me if he catches me, you know, trying to keep a little bit more of my own freaking money. So that always bothered me. And as I looked deeper and deeper, this shit started to click. And it was the rudest day of my life when I accepted the shit I was looking at, man. I was so, dude, man, it leaves you lost, it leaves you confused, it leaves, and at 46, you know, had I done it when I'm, you know, 25 or 20, I'd have been like pissed, but I'd been like, man, this is a messed up world, you know what I mean? I didn't waste 25, 30 years of my life stuck in a system that really mind controlled me to go get a job, to go pay taxes, to abide by all this bullshit, and be a slave at the end of the day, be a corporate slave. I didn't do what I wanted to do. Very few people really go out and do what they want to do. They do what's going to make them some money and earn them some cheese. You know what I mean? Because that's what you need in this world. So I'm getting off track. There's guys. I showed him what you guys believe is that bottle of water over there. You see that bottle of water? Imagine if that bottle of water was 2 miles long in length, right? As a ball earther, you have to believe that filled with halfway up with water, that pipe, there would be a big bulge of water in the middle that would probably be almost touching the top of that bottle, and the ends of the water would taper off. Resting body of water, guys. That's what has to occur. That's what you believe, and I used to believe, that water, just resting bodies of water bent. This photo here, guys, this is from across Lake Michigan. Have you seen this video? By the way, YouTube is censoring all these videos. They take them down, they demonetize people. They're making it impossible for anybody to do this. So this is from like almost 60 miles away. According to 8 inches per mile squared, the formula for Earth's curvature, there should be over like 1,700 freaking feet of curvature. Well, this tallest building is not even 1,700 feet. I think with the antenna it comes in at 1,700 feet. There it is. So how are we seeing this? But
how do we know that? I mean, the Earth's not a perfect sphere, according to all theories.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Have a good one.
And also, with my question with the moon landing thing.
Yeah.
In all the pictures of the moon landing. Yeah. All the shadows are perfectly parallel.
They're not actually. Did you know that?
They are.
No, they're not.
Why wouldn't it be?
Because they found photos where they actually show shadows at different angles. You got, I mean, dude, I've watched enough videos on this.
But see, you mentioned earlier how NASA would have, you mentioned how they could use money for other things, right? That they, they might be faking it to keep getting the money, right? No,
I don't think they are. I don't think it has anything to do with money, but yes, theoretically, yes, we would say we'd have more money.
My concern is, it would make sense to me that people would, it's very, these types of things are very intriguing to people, like you said, kind of changing your whole, people like to, even if they don't believe in people.
Dude, I don't want to be me. I don't want to be me. What, are you fucking kidding me? Think about this. I'm standing on the side of a road on my free time. In my free time, I have a house that I want to sell and move down to Florida, right? I don't want to be doing this shit, okay? But on the flip side, I see a bunch of fucking basically sheep. See that picture over there? That's why I have it. Sheep. People who are following the way we have been raised, right? And all I see around me are a bunch of zombie sheep who have no freaking clue that they're being led to slaughter. That's what I see, right? So do I want to be me? No, man. Nobody wants to do this shit. Think about it, man. What do you think? They say, you know what they say in the videos they say about flat earthers? They say, well, these people, they never were part of the community and this makes them feel special, blah, blah, blah. Bro, special? You think being walked by and laughed at by freaking every single person who walks by here makes me feel freaking special?
Probably not.
No, it doesn't. You gotta use your brains because otherwise they're gonna tell you what to think. And that's what they do. So they tell all the zombie sheep, oh, these people, these flat earthers, they feel, they're isolated from the community and dude, this does nothing but further isolate you. You lose all your friends, your family, and everything because people can't accept this shit. And it's not even a matter of accepting it, by the way. They won't even look into it. Most people won't look into it. And that's how this lie will be kept for another 10,000 years. Because there's a great saying, there's a principle which will keep a man in everlasting ignorance. I forget the mechanics of it, but it goes basically condemnation before investigation. If you're not willing to investigate something that is outside your realm of possibility, then what hope do you have of ever discovering anything new? Because just because you deem it impossible doesn't make it so, I'm sorry to be preaching on you so hardcore, man.
No, I wasn't trying to question your motives.
No, you're kicking ass. I appreciate it. I just get freaking crazy because the media, the way they portray, like I literally, there's 2 videos that came out, one by Logan Paul recently, and then there's another documentary called Behind the Curve, and Behind the Curve, by the way. So that, right in the name itself, doesn't that imply behind the curve? You're basically a moron behind the curve, right? So they do this where they actually get your brain a little bit twisted with linguistics, and they do the same thing as they talk to people. They brought up how, you know, oh, this person never really quite fit in and that, and so it immediately brings a reason to somebody. Oh, this is why they think that way. I don't need to look into it. And then they don't look into it. It doesn't take, dude, if you're good at math, look into the Holocaust, man. Did you know that there used to be, outside of Auschwitz, there used to be a plaque that said 6 million Jews had died at Auschwitz, then they changed it down to 4 million. Guess what it's down to today? 1.5 million. Huh. Strange, right? All those Jews all of a sudden are alive again, I guess. Or maybe they didn't die, or I don't know. Do you know that Red Cross visited Auschwitz regularly and wrote reports that everything was being done fine and up to date? Did you know that? You know what I mean? I never looked into this shit, dude. I used to believe there was a movie called The Gray Zone. I watched all the freaking, you know, all the World War II Hitler movies and Nazi movies, and I would get like crazy emotional over it. Now I think about it, I'm like, man, I got suckered so bad. So I'm just trying to mention that, bro, I came from the world where, you know, I'm not like, wasn't raised to be like, all this shit is all fake. Like, and coming to terms with this is nasty, bro. I
gotta get to class. So.
Hey, man, I appreciate it so much. I'm Dave, by the way. Have a good one.
Jack. Keep doing.
You guys ever hear of this craziness? Have you? Did you look into it?
Yeah.
Yeah, good for you. Condemnation before investigation is the highest form of ignorance, right? So that's good. Good for you, man. Oh, look, we have a flat earther ahead of us. Hey, man, yeah, that's what they do, right? Have you looked into it? Have you guys looked into it at all? You know, there's a great saying, there's a principle that will keep a man in everlasting ignorance, and that principle is condemnation before investigation. I'm not saying, but you see what I'm saying? By laughing at things that we haven't investigated, we can certainly make sure that we will never learn anything new. So anyway, have a good day. I apologize. I hope that I wasn't too abrasive. I'm sorry. It wasn't supposed to rain today. Guys, you want a quick tutorial on what you believe? Real quick, 2 seconds. You see this bottle of water here? No one has. All right, don't worry about it. No biggie. I only have like freaking a few thousand viewers. Hey, brother. Guys, have you ever contemplated where you actually live? Do you want to have fun? Play 2-minute mental exercise. It's fun. Okay, man, I appreciate it. Have a good one. You want to play a little mind teaser? 2 minutes. Come on, it's fun. Anybody for a little mind teaser? Little brain teaser? No, not today? Don't want to expand your thought process maybe? You realize how fast it is? They say we're spinning, right, sir? Right this moment, I bet. You're in Princeton. Come on now. 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, they tell us. We're spinning right now, folks. No pictures. Just kidding. It's not raining on me. They didn't say it was going to rain. So ball earthers believe if this was 2 miles long, this bottle, there would be a hump of water. Resting water would have a hump in the middle of it if that was a 2 mile long bottle of water there. Huh. Hello. Tough crowd. So if this bottle of water, guys, was 2 miles long, what you believe, all of you believe, right, is that there would be a hump of water in the middle of it. That's what you believe by believing that you live on a ball, right? You know that, right? That if that bottle of water was 2 miles long, in the middle of it, there would be a giant hump of water. 8 inches per mile squared is the math for defining a ball Earth the size that they tell us 24,000 miles in circumference. Yeah. So what we believe, guys, just so you're aware, I'm not sure if you know this, but if this bottle was 2 miles long, you believe that there is a hump of water. There would be a hump of water in the middle of that, between 8 to 16 inches in height, higher in the middle. Did you know that?
Say that again?
If this bottle was actually 2 miles from end to end, right? And it was perfectly level, and your water would be, you would have a hump of water in the middle, approximately 8 to 16 inches in height, and then it would taper off at the end, a resting body of water. That's what you believe is when you believe in the ball Earth, bro. Just so you know.
It's interesting. I didn't.
You never thought about it, right?
No.
If you want, check this out, man. I know this is crazy stuff, and you're gonna get ostracized for even taking the card, but honestly, like, you know what I mean? We don't think about these things.
So like, what's the end then?
Well, that's kind of the strangeness about the Earth too, right? Yeah. Because, like, just because we know, like, if I would have terrain in this, it wouldn't change the fact that the top is level. Water always seeks and finds its levels, resting water. So when they show us these photos from space, they're showing us water that curves to a ball. But the ground below that water, right, isn't necessarily a perfect ball, I don't think. There's, it has ups and downs and everything else. But if you were to take this bottle and take it out that length, we know, like, intuitively, you're gonna have water that's level the entire 2 miles, as long as that bottle is level. Now, if that bottle is tilted, we know that the water is going to all rush down to the part that's lower, because water always seeks and finds its level. So my question is, how the heck does that resting body of water end up having a bulge in it, right? How the fuck does that happen?
That's crazy.
It's fucking crazy, because you know why, how it happens?
Yeah.
Because we were freaking, what age were you told you live on a ball, man?
I mean, imagine since infancy.
Well, yeah, but 6, 7 years old, we go into school, right? And your teacher goes, "Oh, by the way, here's the globe." And you go, "What the fuck is that?" Right? No, but the teacher shows you, "Here's a globe." And you look at it, and she goes, "Yeah, there's people standing upside down in Australia, and the water sticks to it, and we're spinning 1,000 miles an hour." And what do you say? Okay. And then, as we get older, we learn that gravity is responsible for everything. So we graduate to a higher level of deceiving ourselves. Whereas before we had a teacher, an authority figure, tell us this shit. Now we have a scientist on television, or maybe a bunch of them, who tell us something. We've never proven ourselves. You have water, you have trillions of tons of water being held by gravity, and yet a bird can fly around, no problem, right? It's easy, but all that water can be held to the ball and can form to a ball in a perfect ball shape when you look at it from space. In order for all this shit to be true, NASA has to be lying. Well, I'm sure you've heard that tons of people already have questioned the moon landing since freaking 50 years ago when it first happened. I'm sorry to do this.
People question lots of things.
Yeah, but with that said, it is a little strange that there's a video where one of the NASA astronauts says, I would go back to the moon in a nanosecond. This is a guy named Don Pettit. You can look him up on YouTube. It's one of the few YouTube videos they haven't been able to scrub off YouTube, but most of them are. Don Pettit goes, "I would go back to the moon in a nanosecond. Unfortunately, we lost that technology, and we don't have the ability to build it back. It would be too difficult." What the fuck? What? If you buy that, man, I got bridges to sell you and land, too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I gotta get.
All right, man, I'm sorry to keep going. Thanks for your time. So I just had a good conversation. This guy, I was letting him know that our belief in a ball Earth, guys, you see that, imagine that this bottle was 2 miles end to end, okay? Just so you know, if you believe that we live on a spinning ball, then that water in the middle of that 2 mile long pipe would have a big bulge in it of 8 to 16 inches, resting water. That's what you believe. That's kind of hard to believe, no? Oops, sorry about that, didn't mean to cut you off. I got cards here if anybody's interested. It's kind of interesting. How you doing, man?
I have to head to class.
Oh, you do? I'll be here for a little while, so I don't know if you want to chat later. Sure. Did you guys see, this is Jeff Bauman from the Boston bombing, guys. And I wouldn't even look at this photo a couple years ago because I was like skeeved by the idea of, someone who had their legs blown off. Well, as I learned, as I found out more about, investigating things that I prior didn't have knowledge of, I found that there's such a thing as crisis actors, guys who help military, the paramedics and people like that who fix people in the military. What they do is they create realistic situations so that way they get experience, right? What's interesting about the photo, this is Jeff Bauman, this is within 7 minutes of when the Boston bombing occurred, okay? Within 7 minutes, less actually. He just had both his legs taken off, right, by a bomb. If you can look at this photo on Google too, and it'll be very clear. But what you will see missing besides his 2 legs is there's not one single freaking drop of blood coming out of his legs. Not even a drop, guys. I've picked my nose and had more blood come out than this guy with missing 2 legs.
I mean, it looks like blood to me, man.
Well, of course it looks like blood, but so does this. So is this real too then? Because this isn't real. If you can see, he's drinking a cup of coffee. They're on break. So is that real too? Right. Is this real over here? Is this real over here?
You got a point, man.
You're damn right I have. Man, I looked at this shit for 2 years. I wouldn't be standing on the side of a freaking road in Princeton with the smartest people in the freaking country arguing this shit if I didn't know what the hell I'm talking about. I don't mean to be abrasive, but this stuff is serious, because if they're lying to you, man, if they're lying to you about that, what else are they lying to you? And believe me, they are lying. I have there's a website called Stop, Look, Think. It's time to stop, look, and think, guys. You're young. Do it before you're 47 years old, or 45 when I was. But anyway, if you look, this is what all these bombings, man. They're crazy. The shootings. These are 2 girls who were shot in Las Vegas, like literally the day before.
I think it's time to stop, look, and think about what you're doing on your Friday afternoon.
Why, man? What? I'm interested. Why do you think this is bad? To open people's eyes up to lies? And then you run away? That sounds positive. So, folks, I have a bottle of water over here, and just to give you guys an idea of what everybody here believes, we live on a spinning ball, right, with water. Everybody knows how fast we're spinning at the equator here, I'm sure, right? Because we're in Princeton, right? Everybody knows how fast we're spinning at the equator? No? All right, well, I'll tell you. About 1,040 miles an hour we're supposedly spinning. A bullet shoots out of a barrel of a gun, of a handgun, at about 1,500 miles an hour. Now, water, imagine that this bottle here was 2 miles long in distance, right? And let's say it was like 16 inches in circumference, and we filled it halfway up. Believing that you live on a ball over a distance of 2 miles, according to spherical geometry, the size of the Earth, the formula is 8 inches per mile squared. So over a distance of 2 miles, you'd have 4 times 8 inches would be 32 inches. You'd have expected 32 inches of curvature, meaning that in the middle of this 2 mile long bottle, you'd be expecting to have an 8 to 16 inch hump of water, resting water, so that it would gradually go down at each end. That's what we have to believe if you believe that you live on a ball Earth. So that's what you believe, and you're good with that, right? Because because we know intuitively, resting bodies of water always seek and find their level, don't we? No? We don't know that?
That's not a 2 mile long.
All right, can you imagine that if this end here to this end here was 2 miles? Can you do that?
Yes.
Okay, super. Now, imagine that it's perfectly level, right?
There is a curvature in this. You just can't see it because it's too short.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, there's tons of people who've done tests on lakes across. Here's Lake Michigan from 60 miles, guys. Lake Michigan from 60 miles. There should be 1,700 feet of expected curvature. Why are you seeing Chicago skyline? The tallest building in Chicago is 1,700 feet. Why would you do that? There's a great saying, there's a principle that will keep a man in everlasting ignorance. And that principle is condemnation before investigation. So if you laugh at this stuff without having to investigate it, shame on you. There's a card right there if you want to look into this stuff, man. Do it. Don't be afraid. Listen, this is what the vast majority of people are right here. You see it? You know what that is, right? Bunch of sheep. Yeah, that's sheep. And by the way, there is no fence. There's no fence for these sheep to have to go through it, right? They just brought them. There's no fence here.
Hell yeah.
It's all mental. It's all in our heads. How you doing?
Doing great. Doing great.
Yeah. Have you
just stopping by?
Have you looked into any of this stuff?
I'm just gonna grab one of these.
Good, man. Good, good, good.
Honestly, I'm not convinced yet, but I really do like more alternative ideas.
Dude, I will tell you, I certainly don't plan on convincing anybody in the space of 15 minutes or even a couple hours. This shit took me like a few weeks to accept some of it.
I'm very pro research flat.
Good for you, man.
Because like you should research like all questions.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, yeah, absolutely. I still question, you know, how do some of this stuff work on a flat Earth, which I still haven't, you know, really become comfortable with. But I also know that when I think about this being a 2-mile long bottle here, and you fill it up halfway with water, it seems absurd to me that there would be an 8 to 16-inch hump of water in the middle of that. And that's what you would have to have.
A hump of water?
Yeah, so all right, so according to spherical geometry,
right.
It's the math that defines a globe Earth, the size that they tell us, 24,000 miles in circumference, is 8 inches per mile squared. So if this were to happen to be 2 miles, you'd square the 2, you end up with 4, and you take the 4 and you multiply times 8 inches, and you're gonna end up with 32 inches of expected Earth curvature. It has to be there. Why does it have to be there? Well, we've seen the photos from space, and I don't see any square-looking parts of the Earth. It's a freaking, it looks like a ball always, right? So that means every freaking inch of this planet that they tell us we live on, which I don't believe, but has to have that curve. So over this distance of 2 miles, there should be, if this bottle was 2 miles long, and let's say it was 16 inches in diameter, right? And it's filled halfway up to 8 inches, in the middle, the water would be touching the top of the pipe, and on the edges it would taper down to less than 8 inches. Huh. That's what you freaking believe, guys. I'm not telling you, I mean, that's what you have to believe.
Wouldn't you just kind of like float to the ends? And just pour it over to the end?
No, here's what would happen. So, you know...
Wait, but that would only be if gravity wasn't like radially directed.
Well, that's, I know, but have you...
know, like gravity.
Right, yeah, I know, that's the problem, man. We gotta believe gravity. By the way, in order to believe gravity, you need to know the mass of the Earth. The Earth is 4,000 miles deep, right? Do you know how far the farthest we've dug is? The man has dug down?
Less than a mile?
8 miles. 8 freaking miles.
Okay.
So we got 4,000 miles deep, or no, the 3,992 miles, and yet they're gonna tell us that they know what the core of the Earth is, the mass, and be able to figure out gravity. Huh, that's a pretty good one too. You believe this shit, man.
Dude, yeah, I don't know.
There's tons more. Did you grab the card, right?
I grabbed a card.
Good, because
I grabbed the card the last time you came.
Oh, you did? Did you look at all that?
I went on your website. Yeah,
oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Dude, no, I'm serious. Yeah, dude, down at Terrace there, we talk about this kind of stuff all the time.
Good. Well, that's because you guys are smarter than us. We didn't have this when we were young. I'm so jealous, man.
Dude, I truly believe anything could be a lie. I don't know, you know, like unless, I mean...
I could be lying. I could be an agent out to freaking mess people up like you.
Dude, I could be fucking schizophrenic and everything I see is fucking wrong.
Correct.
I don't fucking know, you know?
But the only thing is I don't like going to that level. I don't like going to that, wait, but I know, but I don't like going to that level of, because at that point you say there's no truth whatsoever, and I do think there is truisms, man. Am I standing here and talking to you, right? Like, you know what I mean? You slug me in the face, I'm pretty sure it's gonna hurt. That's true, right?
Yeah. I mean, like...
How we deny that?
What if you were just like schizophrenic and you thought some guy punched you in the face, but it was really nothing?
Don't do that to me, man.
Nobody knows.
All right, well listen, you kick ass, man.
I gotta go follow the system. Dude, you were yelling. I was walking to my class and you yelled some shit about following the system, and I was like, I don't know if I believe everything you're saying, but like that's true. You know? How did I get here? I don't give a shit about grades, but I still like work harder.
And then why are you doing it?
Know.
I don't know. But wait, did you watch TV when you were young?
No.
Oh, good for you.
PBS.
But wait, you don't even have to watch TV. You have your neighbors. You have everybody who walks around you. They're driving cars. They're doing this. They're doing that. And you freaking pick up on that shit. And the next thing you know, you want it.
You just, yeah, exactly. Dude, capitalism is fucked up, dude, but I gotta go.
All right, brother. Have a good one. Come on over. Come over. Come over. Come over. I'm lonely. Next time, maybe. How's it going, man?
Hi.
Crazy, right? There's a great say. Do you have 2 seconds?
I don't.
You don't? Okay, no problem.
No, actually I do.
All right, check this out. As a ball earther, I'm just going to tell you one thing that I find really interesting as to what ball earthers believe. Imagine this bottle of water is 2 miles end to end. Okay? According to spherical geometry that defines Earth the size they tell us it is 24,000 miles in circumference, you would have 8 inches per mile squared is the mathematical formula that defines the curve of the Earth.
Yeah.
So if this is 2 miles long, and you apply that formula, you'd have 2 times 2 is 4 times the 8 inches would give you 32 inches of curvature over 2 miles.
I'm putting it in your mouth.
Okay, fine. Yep. So now imagining that this was again level, flat, level, and 2 miles long. What you would have to expect as a ball earth believer is that in the middle of that 2 miles, there'd be a hump of water, in resting water, 8 to 16 inches. I don't even know what it is, to tell you the truth. But 8 to 16, because 16 inches would be half, but 8 inches per mile would be 8. So I'm not sure at the halfway point whether it's 8 or 16. But regardless, you would expect there to be a hump of water in that resting water and to taper off at the ends of that 2 miles. Now, that's pretty freaking hard to believe, isn't it? Give me that.
Yeah, but I still find that the Earth is flat is harder to believe. Man.
Wait, but if I were to tilt this, so now like if I was to tilt.
Some other.
No, man, you're alone on this. No, I'm kidding. Usually, if I get one, I'll get more people to come up. But because that's the sheep-like nature of our society, right? Everybody's afraid until one comes up, and then all of a sudden others will linger, then more will linger, and then they want to know. That's like how sheep act, right? So if that was not level and it was leaning just a little bit, where would all the water go? It would go rushing down, right? We know it would.
Yeah.
So how does it stick to a ball that always, right? See, and then you're gonna say gravity, but yet you can't prove gravity, neither can I. We only believe in that shit. And at what age, folks, at what age do we learn we lived on a ball that water sticks to magically? I appreciate it. By the way, if you want some you want a card?
Hi man, thanks.
You want a card? Just check it out, man. It's pretty cool. I appreciate your time too. Thanks, man.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Raise your hand if you trust the government. Other than using my government one. Hey brother, raise your hand if you trust your government. Do you trust your government? Good for you, man. Thank God you gave me that one. I get nervous for all those people who raise their hands. You guys trust your government? Kind of? Ooh, boy. Really? Kind of as in as far as you can throw the government, you trust it?
There's some trustworthy parts and some untrustworthy.
Yeah? I don't believe there's any at this point. Not after have you investigated many things?
I personally don't.
No. There's a great quote. I don't mean to put you down or anything, but it's there's a principle that will keep a man in everlasting ignorance, and that is condemnation before investigation. So, like, you know what I mean? And I lived my life for 46 years always laughing at shit and never looking into it. I'm not saying you did. You've been good. Thanks, man.
It only takes one person to make you appreciate this place, huh?
That's all, right, man? Just one.
All you have to do is just like message her. Yeah, just message her before dinner or something. Or like literally.
Oh, here we go. Got my cards here. Got my water bottle. I haven't been using my So you have to get better with my. Anybody interested in challenging those beliefs of ours for a moment or two?
Not right now. I got somewhere to be.
All right, man. Have a good one.
7, 6, 5, 4.
How's it going, man?
2, 1. Keep rolling.